Hey there, welcome back to Reddit Dating, the best channel for Reddit cheating stories. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more stories like these. Now, let's get into the video. Fiancé thought I was Aspie and made me silent witness of her cheating with a neighbor. My girlfriend and I have been together for 5 years. She is 44 years old and I'm 48. I loved her and planned to marry her. I had even purchased a $8,640 engagement ring. I had planned to propose to her this Christmas, but that all changed when I discovered she was cheating on me. I don't drink, so when my next-door neighbor asked me and my girlfriend to a little fire pit party in her backyard, I declined and went to bed early since it was a Sunday night, and I had to be at work at 5 a.m. I went upstairs and straight to bed. A few hours later, I woke up to go to the bathroom and my girlfriend was not by my side. I assumed she was still at the neighbor's party. I walked to the second bedroom upstairs, which has a window facing the neighbor's backyard, to see if the party was still going on, but what I saw changed my life. From my upper window, I can see my neighbor's yard. There were only 3 people left: my neighbor, her brother, and my wife. It was around 12:30 a.m., and I noticed my girlfriend sitting next to my neighbor's brother. I continued to watch as my neighbor began to walk away toward her house, and my girlfriend was checking to see if my neighbor had gone inside. Then she moved her chair closer to the neighbor's brother, and I watched as she started making out with him. She was definitely the instigator. I ran back to my room and grabbed my phone, attempting to shoot some photographs from the window, but as soon as I brought out the camera app, they stopped kissing. My neighbor was leaving her home, which was why they stopped. I still snapped some shots, although they weren't very clear. My neighbor then walked back inside the home, where they continued to kiss and take more photographs. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It looks that I was at the right place at the right moment. I'm not sure how long this has been going on. I immediately called her cell phone, and she looked at her phone to see who it was. Then our house. It was dark, so she couldn't see me behind a window in a dark room staring at her. She then screened my call and went back to flirting and touching the other man. I was so enraged I wanted to go downstairs and kill both of them, but I couldn't move because I was in such shock. I watched her wish him goodbye and walked through the fence gate toward our home a few minutes later when they got up and put out the fire. I heard my front door open and her stumbling up the stairs. I was waiting for her at the top. She was astonished to see me awake since she believed I was sleeping. She was definitely tipsy but totally conscious. I inquired where she was going and she replied she was going to a party. I informed her I saw her kissing the neighbor's brother and she attempted to deny it. When I informed her that I witnessed them kissing through the window and that I had captured it on video, she burst into tears, claiming that she was inebriated and made a mistake. I asked her how long this had been going on, and she replied it was the first time and it was simply a kiss. I was too weary and filled with wrath to question her that night, so I just went to bed. I advised her to sleep in the other bedroom. I couldn't sleep that night. I couldn't stop gazing at the ceiling. I couldn't believe it was the second time she strayed in her relationship. She cheated on her previous spouse with his buddy for 4 years. She has no allegiance, which should have been a warning sign. I suppose what they say, once a cheat, always a cheat, is correct. Like you all stated, I escaped with my life, and I couldn't believe I was thinking about marrying this woman. She apologized again the following morning. The other man is 38 years old, he frequents the area, and I happen to have his mobile phone number, so I texted him and told him I saw you kiss my girlfriend. He responded that she kissed him first and he recognizes that trust in your relationship has been damaged and that you guys should simply go your own ways. I know he is correct, but can you believe this guy? I called him all sorts of names and threatened to beat him up the next time I saw him, being the furious man that I am. I'm sure he's terrified to return to this area. I'm not a little man, and I used to participate in bodybuilding. The second thing that wounded me was that I thought the man was cool. And he is correct. She was the one who initiated the kiss. When she closed in on him, he drew up a bit, as if to say, "What are you doing?" She simply continued creeping in. I told her that what hurt the most was that it wouldn't have occurred if she hadn't started it. But the time for reflection is past. I am done with this relationship. And I suppose I'm fortunate, since I mentioned no financial commitments or children to her. So I walk with a wounded heart, rage, treachery, and bitterness. Of course, whether thereof or not, I'll have that notion in my brain when I leave. Is he there, or is he over there? I'm sure such ideas will disappear with time. After I leave her, I will also tell every one of her friends and family members what a jerk she is. It'll also break her heart if I disclose the ring I've been saving for her. The issue is, she only drinks around 3 times a month and seldom gets intoxicated. I didn't tell her about the ring, and I want to return it. I can see she is very sorry for what she did and tells me on a daily basis how much she loves me. But then that night comes to me, and I think to myself, what about that night you didn't love me? She claims she has no recollection of kissing him. I told her that it was terrible enough that you two kissed, but it was the fact that she made the move on him that stung the most. I don't drink, so I saw what I saw, and I have proof on my camera, albeit the video isn't very good, of 2 individuals kissing. She no longer denies seeing it and thinks it occurred. Now that the pain is gone, I'm filled with bitterness and I'm being unpleasant, harsh, and aloof. She says she wishes she could have us back. After spending a particular length of time with someone, we all dread being alone. I feel like I failed as a guy by allowing a lady I love to leave me. To top it all off, I told her I'd leave if she wanted to be with him. Her response was that she didn't want to be with him and that I should stop thinking like way. However, every time this man comes by, since he is our neighbor's brother, I become worried and start asking things like, would she rather be over there? She advised that we sell the home and leave the area since she believes I will be thinking about that night every time he drives in. I haven't informed any of my friends about this since I'm too humiliated to tell them I've been cheated on. On another subject, I'm not sure if I said it, but I'm afraid of the huge transition, being alone, finding my own space. I suppose I should. However, every time this man comes by, since he is our neighbor's brother, I become worried and start asking things like, would she rather be over there? She advised that we sell the home and leave the area since she believes I will be thinking about that night every time he drives in. I haven't informed any of my friends about this since I'm too humiliated to tell them I've been cheated on. On another subject, I'm not sure if I said it, but I'm afraid of the huge transition, being alone, finding my own space. I suppose I should. However, every time this man comes by, since he is our neighbor's brother, I become worried and start asking things like, would she rather be over there? She advised that we sell the home and leave the area since she believes I will be thinking about that night every time he drives in. I haven't informed any of my friends about this since I'm too humiliated to tell them I've been cheated on. On another subject, I'm not sure if I said it, but I'm afraid of—
Went to see The Incredible Hulk at the movies. That was in 2008. Do you recall how irritated and upset she was with you for no apparent reason? You weren't touching her, much alone talking to her or gazing at her, weren't you? That was all a ruse to get her home. She had no intention of returning home. Instead, she arrived to my residence. Remember all the presents she gave you and tricked you into thinking they were purchased out of love? Okay, it was to let your defenses down and make it easier for her to cheat. You are not my brother. You are the caretaker for my children and my source of income. You purchased me a vehicle, a house, helped me pay for my college education, and have been caring for my children. Guess what? You're going to keep doing the same thing. You were gone for a moment, but I went to your home to be with her. Wife yelled at him, shut the up. I was completely deafeningly deafened as my shattered world was unveiled. She asked whether she was in love with both of them, and she responded yes. She is speaking the truth, according to the lie detector. That simply made matters worse. Wife was grabbing me and shouting up and down that it was a lie relating to what said to me. I burst out weeping and told her you and the girls were the nicest thing to happen to me. I took care of everything for us. I purchased us a house, and we did so much other. We studied together, worked together, graduated together, and even started a family together. Seeing your grin was my daily aim because I love your laugh, enjoy embracing you, and simply waking up next to you was a pleasure I can't express. And now I got a piece of paper saying those females were never mine. Another piece of paper informing me I was nothing more than a toy. She had a blank expression on her face, with nothing but tears streaming down her cheeks like a torrent. For the record, you never had a family with her. I did. You were only looking after my family. For me. How can someone who has referred to me as his brother for so long be so cold to me? I have no idea. That day, I couldn't sleep. I left the house to go for a stroll. I walked for more than 13 hours. I left my phone at home, so there were no interruptions. I was discovered sobbing on a park seat. I know a guy isn't meant to weep, Yet I can't eat, sleep, or stop crying. All I did was vomit and cry. I couldn't look at the females the same way again. Divorce papers were filed. She returned to New York with her parents, was unemployed, and had lost his house. His automobile was registered in my name, as was his house. Everything belonged to me. I earned 6 figures, and someone who doesn't even have a job ruined my life. I never helped anybody else again, much alone trusted anyone. I'm looking for expert assistance. I'm not going to wind up like my brother, who ended his own life when circumstances became tough. I'm a warrior who never gives up. My ex-wife sent me some derogatory SMS. A photo of them two kissing the twins, as well as a film of them two, revealed some heinous things to me. She advised me that now that I had nothing, I should commit myself since I would be alone. That she was aware I wasn't the father, but what can a person like do for the kids? That I abandoned the twins and I wasn't the role model or father figure I thought I was, therefore I shouldn't have walked out on them like that. Doc warned me not to be a fool, that it isn't her who is sending me these things, but rather him. I think it's her. It's her phone number. I left the girls because I was afraid of what I was capable of. When I awoke one morning, there was a rifle next to me. I videotaped myself, and what I saw terrified me to death. I'd stand there for a long time. I was doing nothing but standing next to my bed like a zombie. Then I'd go back to sleep after retrieving my pistol from my finger scanning safe. Every weekend, I pay a visit to my brother's grave. This was years ago. Now, I'm a pilot with his own real estate firm who is unable to have a family because I reject every lady I meet. I will never again put my confidence in anybody. But that's just my opinion right now. I'm sure I'll have my own family one day. I'm still young, barely 33 years old. Those girls are now 9 years old, and I think about them on a daily basis. If they come to me when they're 18 years old, you can bet I'll welcome them with open arms. If you're wondering what they're doing right now, my sibling informed me he works at Best Buy. She became a nurse because she aspired to be a doctor one day. Congratulations to her.